Hello, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer with MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I create videos and content about toxic, narcissistically abusive relationships, emotional intelligence, and self-development. If you have a question that you want me to answer here on this channel, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Just make sure you keep that email 2 to 3 paragraphs max. Be very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If it's too long, too lengthy, unfortunately, I will not be able to get to it. Also, hit the subscribe notification and the bell notification so you're notified each and every time I upload a new video. I upload new videos on this channel 5 days a week. This channel and this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. So if you need help, more help than what this video can provide, make sure you connect with a BetterHelp therapist. If you go down to the links below and you use my link towards BetterHelp, I am a partner with BetterHelp, so you'll get 15% off your first month of online therapy with BetterHelp. So make sure you take full advantage of that. With all that being said, let's get into today's topic. So today we are talking about grief. So I have a person that has written in, and something that we talk about from time to time here is when we're grieving the loss of a narcissistic loved one. Sometimes people will ask that question in terms of a romantic partner. In this situation, it's actually family members. And so we have a unique situation where this person is struggling with grief. So let's get into today's topic. Let's read this email. Let's see if we can provide some help and assistance for this person, and in turn, provide some help to some listeners who might be going through similar struggles. So with all that being said, let's get into this. Hey, Matt, I managed to break off with my narcissistic husband and have healed from that a couple of years of therapy, but my family of origin, my narcissistic father and my emotionally unavailable mother, I've gone no contact with due to their racism and their mistreatment of me and my adult kids. And so this is actually very, very common. I would say, if I had to do a number, I would say 80 or 90% of the people that I work with, they initially go no contact or start to recognize some behavior, narcissistic behavior in a romantic partner. Then once they start their healing process, they actually start to see it with their family members. It's more difficult to see in our family members because we've gotten so used to the behavior. We've gotten used to a lot of the family roles and the family systems, and we've been playing a part in it. But oftentimes when we start going down this healing journey because of a romantic partner, all of a sudden our eyes come open. Let's continue with this email. I've got no contact with them due to the racism and their mistreatment of me and my adult kids for over a year now. So good for you. So you've got no contact with your narcissistic romantic partner and now your family. But this email continues and says, I am still grieving and I can't seem to heal and let go. Any advice? So yes, I have a lot of advice on the subject. So one of the things we have to understand is that oftentimes when we actually can get over our romantic partner, oftentimes easier than we can when it comes to our family. Number one, it's our family of origin. Number two, the reason why this grief and this loss might seem more significant is because also you have grieved the loss of a romantic partner, and we're also grieving the loss of more people. We're not talking about just one person, and we're also talking about grieving people who are still alive. That's a struggle. That's hard. And I don't know if they're still reaching out to you and you're no contact. Sometimes that can make it a bit more difficult. We may know that we have made the right decision, but sometimes that can be hard on us. And the other thing is that oftentimes we have to grieve the loss of the idealized version of what we thought that they could be. Oftentimes we thought that we talk about this with romantic partners, but we do this with family members too. We had this idealized picture of what we thought our family might have been. You might still remember some good times that you had with them, even though there's a lot of bad qualities and a lot of bad traits that you have with them. You may have had, and you may have always grown up with this picture and this image of your parents being great grandparents to your children. And now we have to grieve the loss of all of that. But let's get a little bit deeper when we talk actually about grief. Let's talk about the 5 stages of grief. We have denial, we have depression, we have anger, we have bargaining. A lot of people they talk about bargaining, they don't know what bargaining is though. It's when those time periods where you say, well, maybe if I do this, maybe they'll do that. Maybe if if I just go over there for an hour a day, maybe they'll start to warm up to me and warm up to my kids and that sort of thing. But we're obviously past that point. So we have bargaining, and then we have acceptance. What a lot of people don't understand about the 5 stages of grief is that you actually bounce around. You don't necessarily go through them in a linear progression. And the other thing that we have to understand about that is that you might stay in one or a couple of them longer than what you might think. So some of the things that we need to understand about those 5 stages and how to move through them quicker, we have to begin to accept, right? You hear me talking a lot about radical acceptance. We have to accept where we are at. We need to begin to journal. We need to actually process our feelings, right? So a year when we're grieving an entire family system might seem like a long period of time to you. Sometimes that's just where we're at. And so you mentioned that you're in therapy. We need to begin to study and understand grief and begin to partner with our feelings and begin to process our emotions a little bit further, a little bit deeper, practicing mindfulness, because what you're talking about are some pretty significant wounds when we've lost, and when I say lost, through breakups and through no contact, a narcissistic significant other and a narcissistic family system. The other part when we talk about grieving the narcissistic family system is you're also grieving the loss of you. You're grieving the loss of yourself. You have played a part, you have played a role, regardless if you were the golden child, the scapegoated child, the invisible child, there was a role that you played. And whenever I talk to people, I talk about these roles being like you're in a staged play. And so every time that someone had a certain part to play and had a certain line, you always had a line to play. Well, oftentimes when we break away from that play and we're sitting back and we're watching everything from the sidelines now, we start to realize that, well, if I've been playing a part this entire time, who am I now? If I was always the scapegoat, if I was always the golden child, if I was always the invisible child, even mistreatment, oftentimes we at least had an identity. You may lack an identity now, which is causing that grief to continue, which is causing that grief to linger. So we need to begin to work a lot more on ourselves, being more authentic, understanding, and having more of a true identity of ourselves. So thank you very much for writing in. Anyone else who has a question, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Keep the email 2 to 3 paragraphs max. Be very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If it's too long, if it's too lengthy, unfortunately, I will not be able to get to it. Also, if you need more help beyond what this video can provide, make sure you connect with a BetterHelp therapist. This channel is all sponsored by BetterHelp. So make sure you take full advantage of the 15% discount that you'll get by using my link, because I'm a partner with them. And so go down to the links below. You will have affordable options no matter where you land at in terms of your pay, that sort of thing. So make sure you take full advantage of that. With all that being said, thank you very much, and I will talk to you soon.